right, everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour Huddle, episode number 7. Today we're here with me, myself, Tim, John, and Danny. Fidel unfortunately could not make it. It's not our normal day of filming, but certainly want to get some content out there this week. And there's still lots to talk about, and even with life plans, we want to be sure to come on here and speak our minds. I know we have a lot of info rattled up in there. So,
Yep.
certainly we have a lot to talk about. But yeah, happy to be here and lots to talk about, like I said, and I'll let you guys kind of carry it away to the next little segment here.
We'll get right into it and we'll start with our hot topics, just our happy hour huddle, what we always like to discuss. And one of those topics is the All-Star games. So this past week we had the Major League Baseball All-Star game. Um, and I was watching a bit of it, and when I was watching it, I was just curious, like, is there an All-Star game that you guys enjoy watching or don't enjoy watching nowadays? And what is it even worth watching? What are your guys' thoughts?
I
Y-
myself personally, sorry, Tim.
You're
Uh,
good, brother.
I personally don't watch them. I feel like it's a little bit overrated to some degree. Uh, I feel like before, like growing up in the '90s, I feel like it was more driven towards the players and whatnot. But uh, more recently, within maybe even like the past 5, 10 years, it's been more. I feel like more like hoopla, where it's just more. Um, I don't know how to explain it, but just more. It's not really. I feel like it's kind of taken away from the game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just my personal take, and more so to push like the ads and the commercials and all that fun stuff that people like to watch as well, and it takes away from the actual players themselves.
Yeah, I completely agree with that sentiment, Danny. Back in the day, I used to be a huge advocate of All-Star Weekend, no matter, if it was, the Pro Bowl when they held it over in Hawaii. I always thought that
Hawaii.
was a ton of fun because they'd have like weightlifting competitions to the long throw. It was like so much fun to watch. And I was a huge fan of the McDonald's high school All-American games.
Mm-hmm.
Watching like LeBron join the dunk competition there. Obviously, a ton of athletes have gone through there, and it was just a super fun thing to watch on like a summer afternoon. Seeing who the next up and comer is. Likewise with the NBA, dunk contest, it kind of seems like the 3-point contest has taken over as the event to watch. And the dunk contest is just kind of run dry, I think. I think it's time to certainly revamp it with something else. I think even from just like the scorers table, I feel like dunks that you feel like shouldn't get a 10 still get a 10.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like they're kind of throwing them out there and it seems kind of pointless after a little while. But I feel like, there's ways to work around it and maybe kind of build a little bit more incentive in it to make these players want to, join in and do something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're always fun to watch growing up.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think nowadays it isn't the same as back in the day. I still like watching some of them, for MLB. I still enjoy watching the home run derby. It's just fun, just hitting those bombs. Like I said, I could barely probably hit it out of the infield, but just watching that,
Don't doubt
it's
yourself,
still.
John.
I doubt
You're
myself.
better than that.
Yeah.
So one sport I like to watch, can't play it at all. Um, but NBA contest, I think, or NBA All Stars 3-point contest, I think it's the only one I really like to watch now. The dunk contest, like you said, everybody's getting tens, and it's like some of these dunks, I'm like, we've seen them before. Like it's nothing special. I think some of the last
Mhm.
memorable ones, like Blake Griffin jumping over the car, you like stuff like that was like so awesome to see. Um, but yeah, I think there's ways to revamp it. NFL too, should go back to Hawaii Pro Bowl. You know,
Yep.
I think that's what will make it better. But I think the other thing that I don't like seeing it, why I don't like seeing it is they're not as competitive anymore. Now it's just all offense, no defense. It's just not as fun where they were really playing because they wanted to play and they wanted to play a good game. Now it's just for showboating.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's just like who can, be the better offense. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of depressing watching like the
Yeah.
NBA All-Star game, for example. Like just everybody gets a free pass to the basket.
Yeah.
And it's just not that fun to watch. Back in the
Hmm.
day, you'd have like a young Kobe versus MJ, and it
Yeah.
was super competitive, and they actually tried. But yeah, I don't, I feel like most players are friends nowadays, so
Hmm.
the level of competition maybe isn't there as much where
Hmm.
as it used to be. And I brought up the word incentive, but when these players are getting 50, 60, 70 million a year, what's the incentive?
Yeah.
Maybe some type of home court advantage.
Hmm.
I don't even know what really factors into it nowadays.
And it kind of goes back to, and I think you highlighted a good point. Um, when the Mamba mentality, right? It's insane.
Hmm.
So I remember when he was playing for the U.S. team, and he had one of his Laker buddies playing for, I forget, I think it was Spain or one of those teams, Gasol maybe, or I don't remember what teammate it was, but he went in and he like destroyed his own teammate on the court, right? And
Hmm.
then they go back to the room in halftime, and one of his buddies is like, "Bro, that's your teammate. You play with this guy in the regular season outside of this U.S. team. Like, why are you doing that?" He goes, "Because I'm here to win. I'm not here to play." And I feel like we
Hmm.
need that kind of mentality more so now to kind of draw back what the sport's really about.
Yeah, the buildup of what got them there, they obviously had to be super competitive on the court at one point in time. And, obviously we see it like in the playoffs, but, even the regular season, non-all-star kind of turns into kind of a lot of nonchalant
Hmm.
gameplay. Uh, you know, I guess that gets into a deeper conversation of shortening seasons and,
Yeah.
uh, you know, but here we are with the NFL wanting to extend it even 1 week more, which I love. They should do
Yeah.
I'm okay with
I, I
it.
I think for the fans
Yeah.
it's great because it's more football. I think we would enjoy it, but for the players, and even for some of our teams, like we see them going into the playoffs, they're injured already, by that, conference championship game, and some of them might not even make it to the Super Bowl if they win. So, I see why they wouldn't want to, but and I know why the NFL wants to. It's money. It's all about the Benjamins for
Yes.
them.
look at that Detroit game with the Niners.
Yeah.
He had what Jameer Gibbs banged up, Laporta wearing like 12 knee braces.
Yeah.
Like it's insane, man. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Unbelievable. You're gonna say the Niners won due to injury? God.
I
brutal.
never once said that. Never once said that.
But no, yeah. But for
But
the All-Star games, is there something you guys think would make it better nowadays? Make it back to having that prestigious, just type of an event to watch and even go, watch in person.
yeah, I mean, you brought it up earlier. I think bringing, at least for the Pro Bowl, bringing it back to Hawaii, I feel like that was always such a big staple.
Hmm.
And quite frankly, it doesn't even, I don't know. Me personally, I'm not even opposed to eliminating the actual game altogether and just having some type of super competitive skills competition. But I feel like where the Pro Bowl's gone with dodgeball and all this random gameplay, I'm not a huge fan of it. I feel like
Yeah.
bring back weightlifting. I thought that was super fun to
Yeah.
watch, the long throw instead of like these targeted throws. Just because the players, like, I feel like they don't even really hit the targets that well.
Hmm.
So, I'd rather just watch them bomb it down a field and, have fun doing
I
that.
mean, Derek Carr didn't hit his targets last time.
Yeah, just a bit outside. Uh, um, yeah, no, there's some players who had like a miserable time, it looked like. And I think that they even had like a long snap competition, and like I think they were literally hitting maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 attempts, and it was just
Hmm.
kind of boring to watch. Kind of looked I mean, I don't know who I am to say it looks a little amateur, but I just think it's the format of the weekend. But I just think that at least transitioning over into like the NBA standpoint, getting rid of the slam dunk competition at this point, I think is maybe a good idea, or at least making it like NBA players versus some type of amateur dunker. I
Yeah.
think that would be really cool, or making it team based.
Mhm.
Would be a
Like
ton of fun to watch.
Globetrotters or something, right? Versus NBA.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I think would make it really cool, man, is I know it's an all-star type game or Pro Bowl type game, right? But having like the top rookies compete in their own competition, I think seeing some kind of format in that would be pretty damn cool, right? Because you already know, like when Tom Brady was playing, right? He was gonna be at the Pro Bowl. Granted, if he wasn't playing a Super Bowl or whatever, just to protect himself from injury. But you know who the players are typically going to be, right? But if you get the rookies, have like a rookie competition included into those
Mhm.
types of events, or even have like rookies versus vets, right? Like in the NBA All-Star game, dunk competition like that, or something along those lines. I think that'd be really cool to
Hmm.
see, to kind of get people back into it more and have that competitive nature, right? Like older guys versus the younger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool for the NFL. I think the NBA already does that because they do like the rookies. I think it's like what,
Sophomore.
sophomore versus rookies. They
Hmm.
do like G League versus the world or
Or
something.
yeah,
Something
I don't know if it's rookie sophomore anymore. It might be world versus
like,
US.
yeah, US. But I think they use
Yeah.
like more of the rookies. But yeah, to fix these all-star games for sports, it would take a lot, because I think you have to incentivize a lot of these players. I think about like the NBA, the in-season tournament. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it seemed very competitive because there was money behind it. And, even though it wasn't the millions, for some of these players, it meant a lot. So it's like having the all-star game with maybe not the stars, having the stars show up for the fans, be there, sign autographs, but to play the game, have those, more mid-tier guys who, if you put 100K, they're going to be balling out and playing a great game, giving that great showcase.
Yeah, exactly. There's the incentive. And then
Yeah.
Lakers won it, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Do they
Yeah.
drop a banner? Do they
I
banner that?
I think they probably will.
Oh God.
I we'll
I
see.
would you guys do it? Would you say your team won? Would you guys want a banner for that?
For
Maybe with
me,
an asterisk.
Yeah.
I I
There you
wouldn't
go.
want it, but knowing the Clippers, I think they would drop a banner, and I would just be low key embarrassed. I would be like,
Got to
oh,
fill the new arena.
you got it.
Yeah.
You can't just put
Yep.
faces of players.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, yeah, All Star Game week. I always enjoy MLB. There's a lot of All Star games. I think MLS is doing some as well, and they do the skill challenges. But yeah, I think
Mhm.
as we discussed, they're not as big as they used to be, and it's a shame because they were always great weekends to watch. I think they were also great, weekends to attend when they were in your city. So hopefully, all these sports get it together and find a way to make it better and just more meaningful again.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Certainly hope so.
Our next topic, we have Olympics. We have Paris 2024 starting Friday. We have opening ceremonies. I think soccer is also the first sport, events to start this week. But it's always a fun time. I enjoy watching the Olympics. I really do. I Wherever they are, I try to watch it if I'm at work. I have my phone there. I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes if when it was those late nights. But are you guys excited to watching the Olympics? And if so, what sports do you guys like to watch?
Yeah, 100%. I think number one for me is going to be Team USA basketball. Just kind of watching more highlights of the first few games that they've played. It's just been super interesting. I feel like they finally made a team that kind of replicates almost like the dream team, you know, modern wise. So it's just an exciting team to watch, and you know, I look forward to that. But yeah, you know, I'm like you know, I honestly I could pull it up and watch any type of sport, no matter what's on. I just think it's super interesting. You know, all of these athletes are obviously top in the world, and you know, they battled for 4 straight years plus, you know, just trying to get to where they are. And,
Yeah.
you know, here's their moment. And, you know, there's really nothing better. You know, I think another you know, I kind of like to get like a little quirky with it and watch these random sports too that, you know, you really didn't know existed. You know, one I kind of wanted to bring up was the steeplechase. And this is I guess there's a horse version of this, but then there's a track and field version minus the horse. And it's basically yeah, it's unbelievable. Definitely gonna focus in on this one. It's running around a track, and then I think you jump over a hurdle, but then on the other side of the hurdle, there's like a pool of water. So obviously these, you know, men and women are going to be able to, you know, get right out of the water. But if you watch like people practicing it or younger kids kind of getting into the sport, like it looks like they could drown. It's just just it looks like a reality TV show. It's fun to watch. Of course, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but you know, it just looks like a crazy event. But yeah, that'll be something I'm kind of looking out for. It looks like a
Looking
fun one.
forward.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to. I like all the archery, like the shooting. Like I find out all that really freaking cool, man. Like
Mhm.
it's interesting. You'll probably catch me a lot of watching a lot of swimming. For some reason, I think that's always entertaining to watch. But I'm like you guys, man. Like put anything on, like gymnastics, whatever. You know, I'm there watching. I'm like, man, like I can't even do half of that. You know, let alone like 10% of that. You know, so these athletes are just incredible is an understatement. I'm looking forward to the soccer too, man. You know, now that the Euro Cup and Copa America are done, and
Mhm.
you know everything's kind of settled down right now. Nothing really going on besides baseball. It'd be cool to see the soccer, basketball, those sports again. And as you guys know, I'm still learning a lot about the NBA. So to watch this dream team being built, um, you know, and potentially making it all the way, man, it would be really cool to see and learn more about the players.
No, yeah, you know, I enjoy the Olympics. I like watching everything. I think the things I like to watch swimming, like Danny. You know, I like to swim. I'm not a great swimmer, but to watch it, like it's intense. You know, just like photo finishes, gymnastics, just the way they jump and all their moves. Like, I have no idea how they score anything in gymnastics, but I'll still watch it and I'll pretend I know, you know, my fake scores. And then for me, the big one I like to watch is track and field. Just those like 100-meter, 200-meter runs, like just seeing how fast they run, like it is amazing, and just how close those races are as well. So anything track and field, I always like to watch. So and like Tim, there's this one new sport I saw. I was, you know, because I would read into what's gonna be, you know, what's new. Now they have the 3v3 basketball, which I'm really interested in seeing. That's gonna be pretty cool.
3v3?
Yeah, 3v3.
What?
Nice.
So I think for women's USA, I think it's all college players. I think a majority of them, or one
Hmm.
of them is, I think it's like Heather Van Nice or whatever. I think she's on the team. Um,
Okay.
but another one I saw is breakdancing. I'm very curious to watch how they do
What?
breakdancing. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
it's one of the new sports at the Olympic. So
Oh,
I
I
think
wonder
it's
what
really
country
cool.
dominates that.
Eh,
You know, like who's
well,
good breakdancers? You
I'm
know?
gonna say
you
like
see, he's
Japan, China. Those are gonna be my top
Yeah.
ones.
yeah, Korea.
Korea, you know, those Asian
Hmm.
countries,
But you
they do a
also,
lot.
if you like, because sometimes I'll get lost in those YouTube videos, like just random people
Mhm.
breakdancing. Like I'd probably say like Korea, Japan, China, probably like the top ones.
Mhm.
But Europe is right up there too, man. Like
Europe.
they got some B-boys out there. Like they throw it down, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I say, I think what's going to be interesting is just how are they going to really score it? You know, what are they looking for? Because like I say, it's a brand new sport. I think they give them all the regulations of what they're looking for, but like I said, everybody has different type of breakdancing. You know, in Europe, even in South America, you know, Rio, the capo, what is it, capoeira or whatever, you know, that type of breakdancing. So that'll be a cool one to just watch and sort of see how it goes.
100%. I'm curious music choices
Yeah.
for breakdancing. Are we gonna hear Kesha 20 times,
Yep.
or are we gonna bring it back to like some type of old school,
Yeah.
well, old school, quote unquote. But yeah, no, I'm interested in the music choices too, especially per country, like what's
Yeah.
popular, and what's fun to dance to. But yeah, no, that's a really good one. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I think they took out karate or martial arts out of the Olympics this year.
I think so.
I,
They
I you guys can fact check me, but if I remember when I was watching the news, because I watch like background noise like in the morning, like on Today,
Mhm.
um, just that national TV news show. I think they said that karate is going to be removed or jujitsu maybe from the Olympics. There's some martial art. So
I
I
could
think
see
I
it.
found that kind of interesting.
You're kidding. I was training for that.
So
Maybe in 4 years, Tim.
karate
Yeah,
wa-
we'll be
karate
ready.
was not included in 2024 games. It shows.
Damn. And
Wow.
then
Ba-
baseball, I know they removed it as well.
baseball and softball has also been dropped.
World Baseball Classic maybe kind of took that over, huh?
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. And one thing with the Olympics, Daniel sort of mentioned it earlier. You know, with having youngsters doing the NBA All-Stars, but like what I like about the Olympics and like with soccer is they only have two veterans that have played like with the national team join the Olympic team. After that, it's all like youngsters, like college players or very rookie, you know, type players that are playing for USA. Um, and that's for all the soccer teams, and in my mind, I understand why Team USA sends their best because they want to win it, but you know, why not send, the same thing, have two veterans and then the rest like a young team, to sort of show that talent, What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah,
first.
I think
Go ahead.
that's a great point. Yeah, no, sorry, Danny. Do you want to
Yeah.
go? I feel
No,
bad.
go for it. Go for it.
Um, but yeah, I mean, to that point, it would be kind of interesting, like if you take a sport like, I know I mentioned earlier, I love watching basketball because you get to see, all of the top, NBA
Mhm.
players playing for Team USA. But, on the other hand, you have a couple vets in there and then you mix in, you could even throw in like a young up and coming player like Cooper Flag in there. And
Mhm.
I'm really curious to watch him play more. And then there's a lot of young, college, high school. I don't know the age limit on joining the Olympics, but that would be really neat to see, if they had some type of pairing like that. I remember gymnastics, I think, isn't it like all the way down to like 13, 14 years old?
Yeah,
Are you able
they're
to
young, dude.
join?
Yeah,
They're really
gymnastics
young.
is
Yeah,
young.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
My take on that, in regards to like soccer, right? I feel like the US is still kind of young in that area of
Mhm.
of the sport, right? We have a lot of amazing players, don't get me wrong, like coming out of our country and it's great to see them thrive. But I feel like in like Euro countries or more countries that are more involved with the sport, they start them off even younger, right? Look like
Mhm.
Yamal, right?
Mhm.
From Spain, like they get them into clubs at a very young age, right? To see that, we usually, from my experience at least, I don't see that happening here in the U.S. Until recently, where more clubs and more elite elite teams are being built at a younger
Mhm.
age here in the United States, which is great to see, right? So maybe in the future, give it maybe another 4 or 5 years, maybe, or 4 to 8 years, I'm sorry, we'll start seeing that more from our country.
Yeah, and what I will say with that, Danny, USA,
Mhm.
you got to pay to play. That's the one unfortunate thing.
Yeah,
European countries, it's not that way. In USA, you have to have the money to play. That's the unfortunate thing with the US, just Confederate Federation. Um, I hope it changes just because it doesn't really get all that great talent. You pay for the talent and it's not always going to win you games. So they got to take the model from Europe. But yeah, hopefully we are building our, the USA, but it's pay to play, I think. And that's what I feel for the
100%,
USA.
100%. Yeah, because you see these clubs, man, like you see the more elite clubs are
Mhm.
$1,000 a month plus tournaments,
Yeah.
and it's like
And you got to pay
middle,
travel,
you
everything.
know, yeah, blue collar home.
Mhm.
We can't go play in San Diego, stay there for
Mm-mm.
3 days
No.
because one, you have to work, and two, you don't have the funds. It's either
Yeah.
keep a roof over your head or well
That's
said, John.
super true. Yeah, that's a great point. You have, John having little Tommy on sorry, I used your name, John. You have Bill with little Tommy on a travel ball baseball team. He can show up at every practice at, 3 o'clock on a Thursday and, pay for the new baseball bat for $300.
Mhm.
It's just those kids, typically get on the travel teams or the AAUs and
Mhm.
typically get carried along and, have a little bit better opportunity. So, it would be really nice to see a different model in the US. Like you guys mentioned, find different talent and sometimes a lot better talent that way.
And
Mhm.
So,
that doesn't guarantee your kid will play.
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah, but that's the Olympics. I think they're fun, a fun event to watch every 4 years. I'm excited for it to come to LA next round. I will try to attend some of those events. I've seen the renderings of what the stadiums will look like. They look pretty legit. I don't know if you guys have seen some
Yeah,
of what SoFi is going to
Mm-mm.
look. I think SoFi is going to be is it swimming? I think
I
SoFi
think
is going to have
swimming.
like
Whoa.
the swimming pool, and they've already showed like what it's going to look like, and I'm like, man, that looks pretty cool. Just to
They're
check it
gonna have
out.
the row competition. They're gonna have it in, I think, Oklahoma
Yeah,
or something. It's gonna be the only sport that's gonna be like in Oklahoma or
yeah.
something because
And like I
you
said,
Yeah,
know,
just location. I think it's just how to make it work well. They're gonna have to, but like I think Intuit Dome's hosting all the basketball. Um, but yeah, just seeing some of that, it's been pretty cool. So I'm excited for Olympics to come to LA 28.
for sure. Did you say rowing in Oklahoma?
yeah,
Because
because
yeah, when I think bodies of water, I definitely think of Oklahoma. So, makes sense.
I think they were like the only qualified facility to be able to
Wow.
host it. Yeah, something like that.
Interesting. Well,
Because
cool.
yeah, it's I'm like, all right. You guys should check out that canoeing where they go through like different obstacles in that like man-made river. That's also
Oh,
pretty intense.
I like that. Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like white river rafting in a canoe or a kayak.
Dang.
Yeah.
Sounds intense.
Yeah, but that's Olympics. I think we'll touch on a few of the sports we probably watch weekly or in our next episodes. What we watch, what's been interesting, see what upsets there's been. But yeah, Olympics are starting, so something a little different than just basketball, or not just basketball, just baseball. Next topic we have is say what, but we didn't really plan anything. It is, like Tim mentioned earlier, not our normal recording day. I think some of us had some plans, some of us were sick and just tough to make it on Sunday. So didn't really fully plan the episode. So, apologize for this episode probably being shorter, but like I say, we'll be back at it this coming week for you guys. But we'll go into banter with the boys. And I think we had a little bit of banter before even just trying to get this episode started with Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's
So
take a moment. We can talk about karma, and Danny, take it away. Yeah.
essentially, okay. I love how you threw Taylor Swift in there, karma and everything.
Love
But
her. Love
but so like 3 episodes ago, my computer was living in the future, and we're starting this episode now, and I was living like 5 minutes in the past. Like Tim was already starting the episode, and my computer was playing a game to catch up. And
Interrupting
I
Tim.
mean,
Yeah.
Tim was starting the episode, and I was like, "I'll do it."
Yeah. It was like a Kevin in the Office moment where everybody's done talking about a certain thing for like a solid 30 seconds, and then here's Danny. I'll do it. And I'm just like, wow.
You can see Tim's
I
face
think
is
he
like
turned the yeah. I was like, dang, I thought he was just like pulling a joke and it was going to be a solid one because, yeah. But I think he just turned the dial a little bit too far and, I went to the past instead of present. So, it's kind of like Back to the Future
yeah.
Yeah,
with your computer.
I was yelling at everybody, "Get off Wi-Fi!"
And then yeah, and then Danny was just giving me a tough time for kind of taking a little bit to get on the pod today. Had to put the kiddo to sleep. And then I happened to say he was acting like a real Fidel at that moment. So shout out Fidel. And when I say that, just can be a little bit of an ass sometimes, just yeah.
It's one of those days you're just like,
Unbelievable.
oh man, that's gonna be a new thing. Anytime someone's an ass, oh man, you're
Yeah.
being a
Tim's
Fidel.
gonna go to the bathroom and listen to Taylor Swift and cry for half an hour after this, so it's okay.
I may. I may. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just think of some good Cowboys jokes and bring them next time. Oh, you know what? We were going to talk about Dak Prescott's dance moves.
Oh yeah.
I'd mentioned it last week, and he is one of the guys because not outstanding. Just kind of he did like the Trump a little bit, like kind of one of those. It wasn't too much, but I just want your thoughts on that, Danny. What do you think about the?
I don't know, man. Seeing you and your bachelor party dance like that, and seeing Dak,
Ooh,
they go hand in hand. So I mean,
solid. Yeah. Well, like I said, he's one of the guys, so I respect it. And probably take a couple of the moves because he was doing some like little swigglies with his hands and
just like you were at the Taylor Swift concert, right?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It happened. And I know John was too. John,
hey,
I think you went to two concerts, right? Or just one?
I only went to one Taylor. Vera went to two of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It's Taylor.
Respect it.
You could try to resist, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Just get into it, Danny.
Just go with the flow because you're gonna be that odd one now
One
in
day.
that whole section that is just standing there. Like you can't be doing that.
One day, maybe. I'll think about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, just one day as a pod we can get on, maybe backstage, see Taylor come through in her little hidden cabinet and
I'm with it.
I know Jen and Vera would love it. So
yeah.
Hey, if she could be Taylor Kelsey one day, so
hey, yeah.
Do you think if they get married, I don't think she's gonna change her name.
No, it's her. Yeah,
that's
the
her
brand.
moneymaker. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Keeps it.
You heard it here first.
Tim wasn't ready for my comebacks. Tim wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Danny was locked and loaded today.
Yeah,
he was.
I had it in my back pocket, man.
Pretty good. But there was. Did you want to go into some Charger talk real quick? Did we?
Yeah.
Want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll pose the question to you guys based off of John Harbaugh's talk about Lamar and no championship to back it up yet. Sorry, John.
No,
Do
at
we
least
think Jim is the same guy, just a good talker? Or do you think he'll actually do something with the Chargers?
well, he didn't do it with San Francisco, and that was a solid team.
That's true. We even tried turning off the lights.
Yeah, you guys tried everything, and you know, yeah, Lamar hasn't won any Super Bowls, but Ravens, we've won some Super Bowls in my lifetime that I've watched, so but who knows? He is a good coach, not gonna take anything away from
Mhm.
Jim or John. But that Chargers team, Fidel could talk more about them because that's his team, but they're gonna need a lot of help this first year just to maybe even make the playoffs. But
Mhm.
he's a mastermind. If you look at what he did in Michigan, he didn't really win too much the first few years, but his last year he won the national championship. So he knows how to build the team.
I think
Sure.
minimum two seasons. I think minimum 2 seasons, I think will be his like sweet spot, right? On what he wants to do with the team, the direction he wants to go into, and hopefully it's only 1 season for the Chargers. Even though I don't really like the sharp bananas, but whatever. But I think minimum 2 seasons. I think he'll get them headed in the right direction, and maybe they'll actually be one of LA's teams, because if you go to their games now, it's always like an away game for them.
Mhm.
That's true. Kind of like the Clippers of the NFL, huh?
Yeah. Automated.
But at least the
Pretty much.
Clippers got their own arena, and
Yeah.
it's nicer than Staples, so that's pretty cool. I like that.
Have you guys seen the
But
videos of it, of like the inside of it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Looks pretty
yeah, those
cool.
are legit. Like that rainstorm thing
Yeah.
that they did,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That looks
Mhm.
really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. We haven't really done anything NBA wise, but hey, we got a sick stadium.
And the hood,
I saw-
the hood that it's in too isn't that crazy as Stables.
Yeah,
It,
The neighborhood is slightly better, man. Honestly,
is it?
yeah, you could say
I think so.
compared to downtown, maybe. But there's just so much because, like I say, that's where SoFi is, YouTube Theater, Kia
Mhm.
Forum. So
Mhm.
there's so much. So if you have 4 events, you'll be in traffic for like 3 hours just to get
Do you
like
really
one.
think the city will allow that though?
I don't know.
I don't think so. And I think maybe like the logic maybe behind that is, hey, we have parking here into it. Um, all the SoFi overflow can come over here. They make money, and I feel like it's more of like a financial
Yeah,
strategy at that point.
could be.
Kind of sounds like they just need to hire you as parking lot situator guy. Yeah, because it
You want to be
sounds
vice
like you know
president?
what's up. Yeah, yeah, I'll take Danny's advice for parking over there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you can be the CFO.
CFO parking attendant.
Yeah. Yeah. CFO is just the guy that collects the cash.
Just bring me the money.
Yeah, right.
Was the guy scanning the tickets?
It's a little light. He's gonna Wayne Brady me. It's a little light.
No, but I
Love
think
it though. That's pretty cool.
yeah, the other banter I have is sort of a Oxnard always Cowboys training camp. Um, always a big event, but I feel, and I'll admit this, I think this year it's not even going to be about the players; it's about the cheerleaders. Vera's already said she wants to go to Cowboy training camp just to see the cheerleaders. So, Danny, how do you
Well,
feel
because she's
that?
watching the show.
That show.
But
right?
I want to ask Danny, how do you feel that your players aren't getting any attention and it's just going to be these cheerleaders? That's
All right,
what.
so about that, and I was actually talking to one of my coworkers earlier about this. I'm kind of disappointed in the camp, and the reason why I say that is, back then, like I think it was 2022 or 21. You used to be able to buy like it's called like United Pass, right? Where you pay $20 and then they let you get a little closer, and then you pay $300 to get the VIP experience for the full camp, right? So you're able to go into like the VIP area. They give you like sodas, whatever you want. Is little snacks and stuff and drinks. And you can go over there, high five the players. Some players will sign your stuff, others will just say hi and walk away. It was just an overall cool experience. You pay $300, you go as many times as you want. I'm very disappointed. It's a cash grab now. It's now they charge you 250 per day to go in there for 2 hours and get that experience with no guarantee in getting that player to sign anything, right? Or a player to sign anything. It can be just all rookies signing your football and hope that one of them make the cut and they have a breakout season, right? Whereas before, like you would have like Ezekiel Elliott sign your football one day, come back the next day, Dak Prescott will sign, so on and so forth, right? But it's a cash grab, and now I understand why everyone's gonna go watch the cheerleaders because they got greedy, man, and no one's gonna want to pay $250 for 2 hours to not even say hi to their favorite player. You know what I mean? So hey, kudos to the cheerleaders. If my wife's watching, it's all for science purposes.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it like like 20 years ago, you could get in with by wearing just some jean shorts, a pair of Jordans, and a jersey, and you're good. It's just the starter pack, and you're in.
Like it's the jean shorts. Hey, I gotta. It depends what size. If they're like those baggy ones that are like almost at your like ankles.
They got to be the shants.
The
shants.
The soldier boy jean shorts, the Jordans.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep. Like they touch like the top of your high socks. Yeah. That pair.
And your high socks are ankle socks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. What a change that is, huh?
Yeah.
So
that's crazy that you have to pay that much for training camps, because I feel like those events should be like minimum just $20. Because like I say, you're just watching them play. If you're not guaranteeing, any autographs, like just have people show up, and if you guys don't want that, just don't even have open training camps. But you guys, the teams do it for the fans, so when you're paying for that type of money, they're asking for that type of money. I think it's ridiculous. Like,
super. Like at least give me lunch or something, cater lunch but no, it's just they have a vending machine that's free. You just push it, it'll knock a soda down for you. And I think they have like popcorn or chips, really. But yeah, so
that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, before they started charging that amount, I went and a family friend of ours that we grew up with since elementary school was able to get us a 1-day VIP pass for my wife and I. So she invited us to go with them because she got 4, and it was a whole cool experience. That's when the Cowboys had what I think it was like the Hot Boys or whatever they were called. So I was able to get all of them to sign my football. Like it was a really cool experience. Cool. Yeah, and I got BANTER to sign my football too. Although he's injury prone, really nice guy. Shout out BANTER if you're listening. Thank you for being humble.
I was about to say, that's what cowboy.
That sounds like a cowboy thing, huh?
Yeah, I was about to say that's a cowboy thing. I don't call any of them hot boys.
Say that to Z Lost face. Say that to Z Lost face, man.
Man. Yeah, no, that is disappointing. I feel like training camps, it's hugely for the kids. It's summertime, no school, and it's a place just for parents to take their kids to when tickets during the season get too expensive and you don't get that fan interaction experience as much at a regular game. So That is disappointing. Hopefully they kind of change that tune, but kind of doubt it with the way things are going.
I agree. I used to take my son a lot, and he loved it. And then one day when they're just kind of like, you got to pay this much, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
Yeah, excited.
yeah,
So,
this is too much, man.
Jerry Jones, Cowboy, personnel, you guys listening to this, we live in the 805 area. Invite us. We'll do a review of your guys' camp, tell the people how it really is and
Yeah.
make it worth it, and
Love that.
maybe you'll have a lot more fans showing up. So nice
Totally.
little
Or you
plug
can
there.
just invite me, and I'll let them know how it is. Whatever.
Nah.
Or you know what? You know what? If that ever does happen, you guys have to show up in Jordans and some jorts.
I do it. Yeah, easy. Yeah.
And a cowboy shirt.
Starter pack. Nah.
I know I could go to Marshalls or Ross and find a cowboy jersey for sure. I don't gotta buy an expensive one.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys borrow one. Don't even buy
Easy.
one. I have a lot.
Yeah.
I have
No,
a lot.
they have like all of last year's players at Ross currently. So it's go down there and everybody left.
Yeah.
So
I think I
heard one last quick thing too. I think Fidel was talking about bringing a Darren Sproles jersey for Deuce Vaughn to sign as well.
I was about to say, I think
it's going to be one of those
CeeDee
jerseys
Lambs.
Like stitched. Yeah, there you go.
You're being a real Fidel right now, Tim.
Be sure to make a short out of this one.
Awesome. But no, let's banter with the boys. And I think going into hot takes, talking about Cowboys, we'll continue talking about them a little bit. But CeeDee Lamb sitting out the season, hasn't gotten paid, so not showing up to the start of camp. I'll say it. I don't think we're surprised. I think we all expected that. If he wasn't going to get paid, he wasn't going to show up. And I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on CeeDee Lamb?
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, man. Like, as much as it hurts me to say it, because I want him to play for the Cowboys, this season. Outstanding player, fantastic guy. Jerry Jones paid the man. He made no moves. Restructure Dak's contract if you have to. Create that space. Get that man paid because he is a lethal weapon for the team.
There you go. Yeah. I agree on that sentiment. I mean, that dude is, your offense, basically, especially this year. And kind of along the same lines, I know Ayuk obviously has had his fair share. He's actually going to report to camp because I think he's getting quite a bit of backlash for holding out and requesting a trade because he was offered, I think, rumor has it, I don't know if this is completely factual, but I've read it numerous times that I think he was offered like 26.5 million a year and declined it. I think that borderline seems like an overpay, but sounds like a sweet deal. I know the going rate's really high right now, and I honestly probably should have taken it. But obviously maybe there's more to the picture and everything. Yeah. But in CeeDee's case, I think he's worth Justin Jefferson money. And, I think that him holding out makes total sense. And why pressure yourself into a situation where, the team needs you. I mean, he has so much strength in his bargaining power right now. So smart move on him.
Cowboys should have paid CeeDee prior to Jay Jettas because now that Jay Jettas got paid, they set the bar high, man, and they have to pay.
Same thing with Dak, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Waited too long, and you see T-Law getting ridiculous money. So yeah. Expensive.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he plays for the Cowboys. If nothing happens, I know Fidel's hoping for a move to the Chargers because they got the money. So
yeah, a lot of money. Yeah.
So we'll see.
For Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, you guys got Trey Lance. Just get rid of Dax. Trust in Trey.
Yeah.
You see how that worked out. You see how that worked out for San Francisco, man.
Yeah, still have his jersey.
Oh, you can take it to camp if they invite us over. Get it signed.
Oh, it's a good one. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Might get jumped on the way in, but it's okay.
But does the jean shorts work as a free pass to not get jumped?
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially.
Don't jump me. Check out the shants. You know?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. Next hot take. Team USA. They did a lot of their exhibition games before the start of the Olympics, and they had one close finish to South Sudan. Almost winning by one, being down most of the game. Do you guys think that was a fluke? Were they just not playing hard? What are your guys' thoughts and takes on that game?
Personally, not a great look. Regardless of, what the game meant. We had our best players out there, and I just think showed a lack of preparation. And,
Mhm.
I think that Steve Kerr, I heard a quote by him today. He said he didn't do a good job of preparing the team because every team that plays against them is the biggest game of their life. So, it's in maybe some of these, you know, I won't pinpoint anybody's name, but some of these NBA players that are on team, they're all NBA players clearly, but maybe some of them take it a little bit less than that. And I think when you have something that you're really fighting for, maybe will, kind of persevere through, the greatest odds. And, South Sudan has only been a country, I think, the last 14 years. And they came in there and were up 14 at halftime and, only lost by one. I mean, what an incredible story it is for them. Really cool. I think Luol Deng is the coach there. So he's building something what seems to be
Yeah.
really, really great. So good for them. And but on a USA level, scary thought, going up against, teams like Spain and things like
Mhm.
that could be tricky.
And I think you said that pretty well, right? And a lot of these countries, right, they're coming in and they hear USA. It's again, as you mentioned, Tim, like one of the best teams in the world, right, for basketball. I think mindset is everything. And I think as my opinion, my assumption is of what potentially might have happened is, hey, this game's going to be a walk in the park.
Mhm.
So they come in there thinking they're just going to, beat these guys by 50. In all reality, and I'm going to go back to this, the Mamba mentality wasn't there, right? That competitive, like we're gonna do our best, and if we smash them by 50, then great. If not, then we need a win. And that mentality wasn't there. So I mean, but it was with South Sudan. They came in, they're like, we're not gonna lose by 50. We're gonna lose if anything by 1 or 10, like, but no more than 10. We're gonna come in and give them what we got. And you know, coaching soccer and seeing all that myself here, like and AYS, so it's nothing crazy, right? But my team once, we destroyed another team like 8-0 in the first game. We had a second game with them and they destroyed us 7-1. And again, my players went in, oh, we already beat them. Well, we beat them. And I'm like, play every game like we're in a championship game. They're like, no, we already beat them. And I'm like, all right, you guys are gonna lose this if you guys don't play with your heart. And they did, right?
Mhm.
Because they didn't have that mentality. They thought it was gonna be a cakewalk. So I think that's probably what had happened. And same thing with the WNBA, right? The women's basketball all-star team beat the national team. It's like, what?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
there's a lot of criticism on their end too, with Caitlin Clark not being there. That there's another NBA player, Reese. I forget her
Angel
first name.
Reese.
Angel Reese. Mhm.
Yeah. So her also not being on the team, and there's a lot of things in question right now for the WNBA national team, or the USA national team and the WNBA, right? So another thing to look at, right? It's just like, are you gonna go in and play with your, heart and with that Mamba mentality, or are you gonna go in thinking it's gonna be a cakewalk because you're one of the best in the world?
Yeah, Agun Balwale, Agun Balwale as well. She was kind of maybe a roster snub for Team USA, and
Mhm.
she went out there. I think she had 0 points in the first half of that game,
Oh
32
yeah, yeah.
second half, and just
Yeah.
went absolutely off.
Yeah.
So if they need a sub, I don't know if it's too late now, but she'd be a great one.
And she won like MVP twice in the All Stars, right, or something like
Mhm.
that.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a
Yeah,
phenomenal player.
yeah. A good call out because I forgot about her.
Yeah, I think Team USA, hopefully this was the kick in the butt they needed to just have that mama mentality, really take everything serious, because they don't win it all, they don't win gold, it's embarrassment. Hate to
Hmm.
say it for
Mhm.
anybody, but for basketball and Team USA, they should be winning every single game. Yeah, I saw this one stat or this one like info, when the dream team played, there was only like 8 NBA players playing in like other international countries. Now there's a lot more, but still you have some of the better players in the USA. If you look at that roster, you have majority, so they should be taking it all. But yeah, that was scary. If they would have lost it, that was going to be big news. But they came back.
Mhm.
LeBron saved them. LeBron's going to be the flag bearer for the USA at the Olympics, so that's also, I think, a pretty cool moment for him. Something to remember, because
Mhm.
to be that person, it's going to be it's monumental and something you'll remember forever.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good
100%.
highlight for his career,
Yeah.
especially towards the tail end of his career where he's contemplating retirement.
Yeah.
Like the one thing he hasn't done in his
Mm-hmm.
career. So
Right?
Yeah.
yeah, good for him.
But yeah, those are the only hot takes. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys have for hot
Can
takes?
I bring up one thing?
Mhm.
Why not?
I know we were talking about it earlier this week. Shut up, Tim. NIL, and college football, right? Where they're offering schools basically unlimited money. I think it's Oregon, right? With Nike. Is it Nike?
Yeah.
Basically giving them free range of money, right? And as it is, college is already a kind of lopsided, unfortunately, right? Where they have a lot of monster teams. But what do you guys think about that? And do you think it's going to get even more lopsided to where, like, 4 or 5 schools? I mean, well, 4 or 5 schools are going to dominate as opposed to like 10 right now. Is it going to get a lot smaller as far as like the schools that dominate and just going to beat everybody? Is it going to take away from the sport? Do you guys think it'll still be fun? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think for some time it's still going to stay the same. I think there's always been the schools that have been dominant, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and those are the schools that have the most funding. And even now with the, NIL deals, they have those what do they call the donors? They have donors that donate so much money that it's going towards NIL. So until they find maybe a way to regulate it and make it sort of even for everybody, it's going to be the same way. But it's not always just NIL deals either. It's also just recruiting, the prestige of a program. If you've been playing NCAA, with the game coming out, I started my dynasty with Hawaii. It's hard to recruit to Hawaii. It's a great place to live, but there's so many other things that isn't that great about Hawaii. So it's like, how do you get players even with NIL deals? You have to have the donors that support Hawaii and have that money to just give to the school, because that's pretty much what it is. It's a donation. So if you don't have those big sponsors like Nike with Oregon.
Yeah, I second that. Shout out UMass. Nobody wants to go there.
Yeah.
It's been rough. I'm 2 weeks in. God, so many like players have
Mhm.
walked me out of even talking to
Yeah.
them. I'm like, damn. So it's like that. But but that's what makes it fun. But going back to the real life NCAA, this is where they did a terrible jump. If they wanted to set up any sort of contract or cap, for these programs, they needed to do it before this was all rolled out, and they did not do that. And now there's this free range where players can go to, school XYZ and get $9 million and a free Lamborghini from the Lambo dealer. And to change that aspect, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. That mentality of all these high school and youngster, Pop Warner players coming up, like they're going to see that. And then by the time they get there and the rules change, are being lawsuits. I don't know, who knows what could be possible. Clearly disappointment would be a big thing, and they're kind of obligated to go to college, at least from the NFL standpoint. So it's just a true debacle. And then, on top of that, with the NCAA, all of these conference issues now, and, you have everybody, the Pac-12 is 2 teams at the moment. So,
Yeah.
it was just terrible management. And I think it's too late, and good on the players, go get paid. Maybe this is their only opportunity to go do so. I think it's about time that they went and got paid, because to kind of add on to that, I was listening to another news network earlier this week, and they talked about all of the unpaid coaching contracts. I think Scott Frost is still owed $40 million at Nebraska. I think Jimbo Fisher is owed I think like 50 million through 2032. Talk about hogging money. It's not just the players, it's coaches as well. So I don't see it changing,
It's a whole can of worms. Like I forgot, I totally forgot. I know we talked about the Lambos and all that, right? Like these are kids, man, and I know they're young adults, for lack of better words, but their maturity level, right? Give them a Lamborghini, give them this kind of money. I'm not opposed to it, right? Like that, they definitely are putting their bodies at, through a lot. But that maturity level isn't there just yet. So maybe upon completion of your degree, you will get this money, or maybe some contingencies, right? That incentive that if you complete your degree, you don't necessarily have to have a successful career in football, but if you complete your degree, you will get paid this or that, or we'll give you that Lambo that we promised you.
And like Tim mentioned,
it sets them up for success.
Yeah, but like I think that would be great. But like Tim mentioned, they should have done that beforehand. The way it is now, they can't really do that because everybody's gonna be like, "No, it's my money. I'll do what I want with it." So it's unfortunate. I think NC football, college football, is still gonna be big though. So, nobody's gonna stop watching it because of this. There's only gonna be a few teams that dominate, but it's still something we like to watch because you always still see some upsets. So,
and if you guys just stay ready, I'll try to get us into a UCLA game. So, sometimes work will throw out some things for us, and they'll let us buy some tickets. So if that happens, Tim, ride the bus down here.
Oh, I got to take the bus. I'll block that.
I mean, if you want to be bougie and fly, go for it. I'll pick you up.
Daniel's like, I'm gonna get you Spirit.
Bus in the air. There you go.
No, but
if there's a game, it'd be fun. It's quite the experience. College games are a blast, kind of like John mentioned, shoot, if Rutgers came to Cal to play a game, I'd go watch that. It's cool just to watch.
That'd be really awesome. Yeah.
But no, those are our hot takes. Next we'll go into fantasy hour. We have our top 5 tight ends, defense, kickers. It's the last few positions we have to go over. They aren't the most popular positions, I think a lot of people stream these positions at times because just the players usage they get, but still at times they are some there are some players that if you could grab, they're keepers. It's not someone you're gonna stream, week in, week out, their daily player. So we could get started with tight end. And for me, number 5, I have Jake Ferguson from Dallas. I think with the CeeDee Lamb situation, depending on what happens, if he doesn't play every single game, I think Ferguson's going to get a lot of playing time, and I think that's going to be Dak's guy, go to guy, because after CeeDee, there's nobody else. So I have Ferguson at 5.
And it's crazy that you say that because I also have him at 5 for that reason. It's his second favorite target, Jake Ferguson. I agree with you 110%. And he's a monster, dude. That guy's a tank. So he can run routes too. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good. My bad, I cut you off. Yeah, no, he's a stud. I was actually
number 4. That's it.
Yeah. He's lagging again. At 5, I had Dalton Kincaid. Talk about just a depletion of receiving core in Buffalo. I think that he's going to benefit from that. Had a great rookie year last year, right? Number 4, it's a lot of back and forth. But here I'm going to go with it's tough. I was thinking Pitts here, but I understand I can't do it. So I'm going to go with Trey McBride. Healthy Kyler this year. I think that great rookie season. Continue on this year.
And my number 4, Mark Andrews. And the only reason why he's so high up is because of his injuries. But I have a lot of faith in him. Lamar Jackson loves the guy. So Mark Andrews, number 4.
At 4, I have George Kittle. I think this could be one of his bigger years. I've been watching the wide receiver show on Netflix, and he's going to manifest it. He's going to manifest a big year, and that's Super Bowl. So I see big things for George Kittle, and depending what happens with Ayuk too, if he holds out, doesn't play a season, or if he gets traded, Kittle's stock goes up a little bit. So I have Kittle at 4, and then I have Mark Andrews at 3. Just Lamar Jackson's go-to guy. We have Zay Flowers, we have Rashad Bateman, great players, great receivers, but Andrews, even though he's coming off an injury, still going to be Lamar Jackson's go-to guy.
And for me, I have Kincaid as my number 3. I think with Diggs, I think he went to Texans, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
With Diggs out, that wide receiver area is going to need a little bit more support, and Kincaid's just going to be a monster in my eyes for that.
At 3, I have Kittle coming in here. Much like John said, receiver show is going to manifest. It's going to be a big season for him. So yeah, looking forward to seeing it. Then number 2 is another tricky one. But here I'm going to go with Sam Laporta. Great first season. It's one season though. Want to see if he's going to duplicate it also, but got Laporta at 2.
And for me, I have Travis Kelce at 2. I mean, his relationship with Patrick Mahomes is incredible. When he's on the field, I feel like he's always trying to force him the ball at times, or in those crucial games, right? Just always forcing Kelce the ball. And a lot of the times he's there to get the ball and make those big plays. So Kelce at my number 2.
At number 2, just like Tim, I have Sam Laporta. Great first year. Second year, want to see what he does. I still think Amon-Ra is going to be a big factor. Gibbs is going to start getting more catches as well. I think Jared Goff feels a lot more confident with him. So yeah, Sam Laporta at 2. Got a lot of people to feed, and then number 1, Travis Kelce. Just Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes connection. They're going for that 3-peat. So once the receivers stop catching the ball, you know where Mahomes is going. His, consistent tight end and his best friend. So Kelsey at 1.
No Kadarius Toney catches.
Nah.
For my number 1, I have Sam Laporta. I have a lot of faith in this player, man. Like, just see him ball out this first season. I think it's just gonna open up the field for the Lions a lot, right? I know they have a lot of weapons, but Sam Laporta is just there, man. Like that guy is super consistent. He's a monster. I feel like he's gonna do more great things this season, and I'm excited to see him play, man. Like, I'm fangirling on Sam Laporta.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, dude, like that's probably one of my favorite players last season, man. Like, just watching his game, bro.
Go buy a jersey.
I want to actually.
That's good. That's a cool jersey. I like the
Yeah.
Lions jerseys. It's kind of classic. Number 1, I'm going Kelsey. Great relationship, amazing relationship with Taylor Swift. So clearly number 1. Hell of a guy. He's dancing at her concerts as well. But back to
Does he do
football.
this?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit better than that.
Oh, so like this?
No, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Kelsey, I think that I don't know. He's always open, honestly. Like he's so
Yeah.
smart on the field. Obviously doesn't have tremendous speed, strength. He's solid in both of those fields, but like I don't know, he's just always open, finds a way. So Kelsey still number 1 lock for me.
We'll go to kickers, and we'll start it off with I can never say his first name, but Fairbairn from the Texans. Is it Kaimi? Fairbairn? Kaimi, right? So I have him as my number 5. I think they're just going to be a solid team. May not be as many long field goals, but he was a consistent kicker last year, and prior to his injury, he was going to be a top kicker. So with the addition of Stephon Diggs, I think they're going to be scoring a lot more, and he's going to be having a lot more kicks. So I have him as my number 5 kicker.
And for me, I have Jake Elliott as my number 5 kicker. He's very consistent. I think he missed like a couple only last season. It's expected. No one's perfect, but Jake Elliott is my number 5.
Number 5. I have is it Young Wei Koo?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I just think that
Young Ho.
Young Ho. Yeah. Well, I wanted to be correct.
You wanted to be respectful.
Yes, absolutely. Hell of a kicker though. And I think that offense is going to be better this year, so just more scoring. So I have him at 5. Number 4, is it Jason Sanders for the Dolphins, or is it?
Yeah, Jason Sanders.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jason Sanders at 4. Again, another high-powered offense, field goal range a lot, decent weather in Miami, sometimes rains, but I just feel like good kicking weather.
Yeah, I also had Jason Sanders as my number 4. Same reasons. It's always nice in Florida, especially when about half your games are out there. Your accuracy, everything's gonna be on point.
At 4, Tim, I like this. I have Jake Moody. Gonna have trust in him this year. San Francisco's gonna be a high scoring team, so he's gonna be having a lot of kicks. Even those just field goal, extra point attempts, those are points in fantasy. So got to look at all that stuff. So I have not the most consistent. I think Tim's lost some hair because of Jake Moody, but I believe in
2
him
more
this
hairs.
So I got Jake Moody at 4, and at 3 I have Jason Sanders. Like just all the points you guys mentioned. Good weather in Florida, good kicking weather. Also high scoring team, so always gonna have opportunities because they're they got Tyreek. Even if they don't score touchdowns, just those field goal attempts, those are points in fantasy. So that's what I look at.
And I have Kaimi Fairbrand for mine. And same thing, man. He was really consistent when he was playing, and I have a lot of trust in him. And also Houston, same weather. It's a lot better than out up north in New York or Philadelphia or Green Bay. So in Fairburn, we trust.
Excellent. I have the crickets in your background for number 3. Just kidding.
Are they back again? Oh
I heard a couple.
I heard a few.
Okay, I closed the window.
Shout out. I'm gonna go Jake Moody at number 3 though. Gotta believe. First year jitters out. He came into a high profile team. I understand why it was there. He was chosen high. Everybody says don't draft kickers. I just think it comes with a lot of baggage. But this year, I think he's going to live up to his hype. So yeah, Moody at 3. Then number 2, Dallas Cowboys going Aubrey. That dude is just unbelievable. Not quite as unbelievable as my number 1, but just unreal.
Can you say that again?
Soccer back
for the record.
The best player by far in the Dallas Cowboys franchise is their kicker. Says a lot. So
Didn't you just say that about CeeDee Lamb though? I'm just saying.
Best signed player.
He's not playing. He's not playing. Yeah. 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 So signed player. And yeah. Yep. But Aubrey number 2.
I have Aubrey as my number 2 as well, because Tim just highlighted all the major points, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. At 2, just like you guys, Brandon Aubrey. Great kicker. Got a foot. So, I don't think they'll be scoring too many touchdowns. Their running game, I don't know if they could punch it in. So, and if they don't got CeeDee, they aren't going to have that much success. So they're going to have to kick a lot of field goals. So Aubrey's going to have a lot of points.
He's had a few 50-yarders, I think, too. Yeah. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
Might have to kick from 70 because who knows if they'll pass half.
He probably will make it too.
You're right.
And my number 1, one of the best kickers in the league ever, Justin Tucker.
We all agree.
I think we're all on the same one.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker. I think he's just been consistent year in, year out the last few years. I think he's one of the top kickers. I always see him getting taken in our drafts at least really early, which is always a bummer because like my mock drafts, he's always late, but he's really earlier on our drafts. But I understand why. Those are consistent points week in, week out.
Hopper, man. 100%. I love it.
Yeah. Well, one question. Nobody said Harrison Butker. Is there a reason nobody included him?
Because my wife isn't limited to the kitchen.
That's what I was about to say too. Do you really think his comments is going to push him down in a lot of these drafts possibly? And even just, is it going to affect him?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. In fantasy, I just feel like a lot of the guys who play just don't care. Yeah. But, in life, I think he's dropped a few points. But anywho, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to avoid his name.
It was just interesting.
Yeah, I'm with Tim kind of, he may have said some very controversial stuff, but when it comes to fantasy, we'll put the BS aside just for my money's sake. If he's the best kicker there, I'll probably take what he says off the field, man, whatever. His opinion is his opinion. We have ours, and life moves on.
Then we'll go to defense. Like I say, this one's also a position that once you draft, you have to get some of the tops just to hold them. Be on your roster. After that, it's pretty much streaming. But at 5, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're going to be a solid team this year. They're always a good defense. TJ Watt. TJ Watt, but I have Pittsburgh up there at 5.
I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 5. Great defense. I think they definitely get a lot of support because they have a very high scoring offense as well, right? They have a great offense to complement them, and I think that hypes their defense up. So I have them at number 5.
At number 5, I have Kansas City. Great defense, proven last year. Re-signed a lot of their Chris Jones is back. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Oh, he
But
did
great
sign
all-around
back.
defense. He did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a bit of money. But yeah, and then you get to play the Raiders twice, so that helps. So yeah, number 5. Then number 4 is kind of a toss-up for me. Here I think I'll go with the New York Jets. I think the biggest thing holding them down is you play against, I mean, I guess one really good quarterback, and then you have the Dolphins who can run it up as well. But maybe that offense can keep them off the field. I just think that still they have a really solid defense. Sauce Gardner is just unreal. So, yep, big believer in Jets defense.
I agree. I'm also with the New York Jets as my number 4 for those reasons, and I feel like they got a lot of heat last season uh, because they had no offense. Right? They're on the field constantly. They're tired. I mean, imagine all these players gassed up, man, after resting for 5 minutes, back on the field for 30. Trying to hold the other team down. So, but I think now that Aaron Rodgers is back and they'll have a little bit more rest in between. They'll do great things.
At 4, I got the Houston Texans. I just think they're going to have a good year. I can see them going to the Super Bowl this year if everything lines up in place, and I think that defense will perform. Their offense, I think, will keep them off of the fields for long periods of time. So that's what I have at 4. And at 3, I have the Cowboys. Just because they have a great defense. They're always great high scoring defense. I think Cowboys winning games are going to be the defense scoring 1 to 2 touchdowns themselves, and those points in fantasy are going to make a difference. So they don't have an offense, but I still think Cowboys are going to do well defensively.
And then for me, I have the Cowboys as well. Only reason I have them up so high, they would be higher if we had an offense, but we don't. And so they came in clutch, man. I think 3 or 4 of the games they won last season was because of the defense, right? And they did amazing things on the field. I think they're going to do it again, right? The Lion, Micah Parsons, hopefully he stays healthy and comes back even stronger this season. And I think again they're going to accomplish great things.
Yeah, number 3. I'm going Houston Texans. I was wondering if that was going to be a dark horse in this conversation, but John had similar thoughts as well there. Did you rank them as well, Danny?
I'm about to.
Oh, wow. There you go. Foreshadowing. But yeah, they just added so many nice pieces, just all around to that team. It's going to be just really, really good. And just their head coach is just with D'Amico is obviously a defensively built team that has an incredible offense. So yep, got them at number 3. Number 2 is where I have the Baltimore Ravens. I just think that the Ravens do a really good job at having the offense on the field. They run the ball, they run the clock. Much of the same, just really nice pieces on the defense as well. So Baltimore at number 2.
And I have the Houston Texans at number 2. As being mentioned, right? I actually have them winning the Super Bowl this season. I think they're a solid team. They've done a lot of great things this offseason. I have a lot of confidence in them. My sister's going to Vegas next week. I'm gonna give her $100 to put on the Texans to win, and we'll see what happens. But very very confident that if they don't even make the Super Bowl, they'll get pretty far.
At number 2, this is where I was sort of thinking a lot, but I also have the Ravens. Solid. They've always had a solid defense. I think they have a great defense this year. They lost a few pieces, but I think we're still there. We have a great offense to keep them off the field, letting them get rest and be ready for their next drive. So I have the Ravens at 2, and I have the San Francisco 49ers at 1. Hate to say it.
I think we all have the same consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing
Yeah,
Tim
and there's
smile.
no doubt why. Yeah.
You know, one reason for me, they have a
Breathe,
great
Tim,
defense.
breathe.
They have a great defense. They have great defensive players. You know, one of the best linebackers in Fred Warner. You know, their lines solid.
The best.
One of the best.
Say it again.
Yeah. What was that?
And the reason I put them above the Ravens is their conference, you know, NFC West. Those teams aren't as hard as the AFC North. You know, we have to play Cincinnati twice, we have to play Cleveland twice, we have to play the Steelers twice. Those are tougher games than NFC West. So I think just schedule.
That's why I had the Ravens up so. Yeah, that's why I had the Ravens up so high too, because they have a much more difficult season.
Yeah, but
so I saw your reaction. You're like, "What? Number 4?" And that I should have probably elaborated on that, right? Because their season's going to be 10 times harder. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, they got a tougher division,
and they're still going to win.
Yeah,
and they're still going to win. So
I don't know if you guys have other comments on the 49ers.
Just that we pride ourselves on good defense. We have for many years. Favorite player of all time, Patrick Willis, Hall of Fame inductee this year. You know, it's just, yeah, years and years of greatness. What can I say? I don't know if you guys want to listen to me talk about it for about 10 minutes, but I can. No, I'm just playing.
Can you please mute the guy?
And then hopefully we get a healthy Hufanga who, you know, Super Bowl season, and he just kind of was forgotten that we were missing him the whole season. So having him back is going to be awesome. I know he's starting off the year on the injury report, but yeah, can't wait. But yeah,
hey, better be safe than sorry, man. You know.
Yep. Yeah. You bet.
But that's our top 5 tight ends, kickers, defense. You know, let us know what you guys think. You know, are we missing anybody? We make any mistakes? What are your guys' top 5? Because like I say, these are for me at least. You know, a little insider tip to how I draft. Defense, kickers, my last 2 picks. I'll always say it. Unless, you know, San Francisco Ravens, Cowboys, they fall pretty far down. But as you guys know, the way our league drafts, they're going really high. So I usually stream those
in like
2
8th
positions.
round sometimes. Even sooner.
That's why I stream those 2 positions. Tight end, depending on what's left, I'll stream as well weekly.
I like it.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right, also
Great tip.
That's the show for this week. You know, like we mentioned, it's going to be out a few days later than what our normal episode's out, but you know, we apologize for that delay. Hopefully it doesn't happen, you know, but you know, as of right now, we still have a lot of stuff going on. We have normal 9 to 5s. We're doing this for fun, you know, hang out with you know, all of us here chatting, and then with, you know, all our listeners, you know, you guys hearing us having these conversations, you know, maybe drinking a beer, you know, drinking something, enjoying it. You know, feel free to leave those comments, chat with us, let us know what we're saying that you guys just don't think is right. You know, call us out, some of the banter. You know, we're okay with banter. You know, it doesn't really hurt our pride or ego. I think we take it to the chin and just move on. But yeah,
if we could get like don't be a Fidel trending, that'd be really cool too. You know,
he's not even here to defend himself. You're being a Fidel.
He's not. So now's
you're
the
being
best
a Fidel.
Time. It's going to be the different version of a Karen, but just when somebody's being an ass. You know, just don't be Fidel.
The Latino version of a Karen.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Love it. But yeah, no, it's It's good stuff. And I know like this past week, in some of the shorts I was trying to put out there, I'm trying to include some questions, and they might not even be questions that, we necessarily got to. It might be a new topic that came out, but certainly I like to throw it out there, and maybe it's something that, if we get good responses from everybody we can implement it into the following podcast and
Yeah.
kind of discuss our thoughts on it too. But certainly with Olympics coming up, keep an eye out for those because I think it's something we'll definitely want to discuss and talk about.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate you guys, really sincerely. We
always.
appreciate you guys. Hit that like, subscribe button, comment, as they mentioned, keep us entertained as well. Like, again, let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll go from there. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, share it to your friends and say like, look at these guys talk about shants at Cowboys camp, It's all good.
Yeah.
know what?
And he's gonna go to his closet and be like, "Here are my pair." Yeah, he's not saying it right now,
He's gonna
but
be all.
he's like, oh, he's looking at it right now. He's like, oh man.
I'm clenching my fist like Arthur right now, like
He's gonna stand. He's gonna stand up, and we're gonna see his shant sleeve right now. I love it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
for
not
sure.
in shant scared today.
Yeah, I think a few things for next week. Well, for Fantasy Hour, we'll bring up our top 5 busts. So players that maybe going high that we think are going to perform. We'll give you guys a little bit of our thoughts. Like I say, this is all recorded, so at the end of the fantasy season, we'll look back at some of these rankings we had and see who hit the mark and who was off. Tim mentioned Olympics are here going on, so we'll be watching some of that. Deadpool comes out this week, so Deadpool Wolverine. So if any of you guys, I'm watching it Thursday, give you a little mini review if you guys watch it as well. Try not to give you guys spoilers. Nice. But yeah, any topics you guys want us to talk about? Movies, sports, TV, music, let us know. This is what we enjoy doing. We enjoy looking into stuff, and just learning and having a good time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, fellas. Good time. And we'll catch you guys at
thank you.
the next one.